Some people go through life like nothing can touch them. Bad day at work, they don't flinch. Someone disrespects them. They don't even blink. Life throws them curveballs, and they just keep walking like it's nitrogen monoxide. Big deal. Meanwhile, most of us get thrown off by the smallest things. A weird text. Someone is cutting us off in traffic. Oh, or a random comment online. And suddenly we're in a bad mood. Overthinking everything. It feels like we have nitrogen monoxide control over. It's how we feel. But here's the truth. You do have control. You just haven't been taught how to use it. The people who stay calm and unbothered. They've learned something powerful. Something the ancient Stoics understood a long time ago. When you stop letting the outside world decide how you feel inside, you become free. You become strong. You become untouchable. And that's what this video is about. How to stop caring about things that don't deserve your energy. How to stop reacting and start living with real peace. If that sounds like something you need, it's one small thing you can do that really helps us keep this going. Just hit that subscribe button. It's free and it means a lot. Now let's get into why to you. Ever stop and think how much of what bothers you isn't even real? Not in the way you think, at least. You're not reacting to the world. You're reacting to what you think the world means. A look, a tone, a delay in someone's response. It's not the event itself that hurts. I tease the story. You attach to it. And that's the part nitrogen monox 1 teaches us growing up. We're taught to respond to what we see when never told to question how we're seeing it. Here's where people get stuck. We walk around saying things like, "He made me feel stupid," or "That ruined my day." But pause for a second. Did the person make you feel that way? Or did you assign meaning to their words and let that meaning run wild inside your head? The ancient Stoics said it plainly. It is not things that upset us, but our judgments about those things. It wasn't just philosophy. It was psyche centuries before psychology had a name. Let's say you're at the gym. Someone glances at you and frowns. Instantly, your brain kicks in. Are they judging me? Is it how I look? Am I doing something wrong? But maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe they weren't even looking at you. And yet within seconds, you've launched into a full mental spiral over a guess of story, a narrative you built out of thin air. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That's exactly what's happening here. You're not responding to truth. You're responding to projection. Most of us don't see the world clearly. We see it through a fog made of past hurts, past rejections, fears we never dealt with. If your heart's been broken, you see love through suspicion. If you've been criticized, you hear judgment in every neutral comment. It's like trying to navigate with a cracked lens. Everything feels personal, even when it isn't. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. That wasn't about philosophy class. It was about taking responsibility for your lens, because until you do, you'll stay trapped in a cycle of reaction where every little thing feels like a threat. And every time you react without pausing, you reinforce the idea that you're powerless, that you're at the mercy of the world. But you're not. That's the illusion. The world can poke, but only you decide if it hurts. What's actually happening is this. Your brain is running an old program. It sees something. It labels. It reacts automatically. But what if you could rewrite the code? What if instead of reacting, you paused? That tiny space between stimulus and response. That's where your power lies. Aristotle once said, "Anyone can become angry." That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, key to the right degree at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not easy. That quote holds the key to emotional intelligence. I tease not about suppressing emotion. I tease about choosing how and when to let it move through you consciously, not compulsively. Here's the move that will change your life. Start questioning everything you feel. Not in a cynical way, okay, but with curiosity. When something upsets you, pause and ask, is this really about them, or is this touching something inside me? That question alone can break the spell. It stops the old pattern and invites new way of seeing. Instead of living like a puppet pulled by every trigger, you start living like a person, clear, grounded, centered. Plato believed that reality is but a shadow of the truth. In other words, Most of what you think is real is just a version of IT shaped by your mind. So ask yourself, is this moment truth just my interpretation of I? And if it's just a story, do I still want to keep telling it? The people who stay calm under pressure, the ones who don't get rattled by petty stuff, they're not cold, they're clear. They've trained themselves to stop giving automatic reactions. And the more they practice that pause, the more space they create inside themselves. That space becomes peace. That peace becomes strength. That strength becomes a quiet kind of power that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. And here's the beauty of it all. This isn't about being perfect. IT's about being aware. Every time you catch yourself spiraling and choose not to follow the thought, you win. Every time you pause, instead of explode, you grow. Every time you challenge the story, instead of swallowing, get whole, you reclaim your mind. So next time something pushes your buttons, don't ask, why is this happening to me? What inside me is letting this affect me? It's where the real work begins. That's how you go from being a puppet of your emotions to being the quiet master of your mind. Stoicism wasn't about being emotionless. It was about mastering. Okay, emotions that nothing and not one controls your peace again. And that is real freedom. From a moment you were old enough to understand words, you were being trained and not in a good way. You were taught that your value depends on what others think of you, that fitting in matters more than being at peace, that your worth is measured in likes, approval, and applause. And the wild part, you didn't even notice it happening. None of us did. It was the water we were swimming in. School, parents, media, culture, all pointing you in one direction. Care what people think. Care a lot. It's no accident. This wasn't just personal conditioning. It's systemic. The world around you is built to keep you reactive. Think about it. Social media algorithms don't reward clarity or .com. They reward outrage, conflict, comparison. You scroll, and suddenly you feel like your life isn't enough, like you're behind, like you're missing out. Because that emotion keeps you hooked. Every like, every comment, every post is designed to keep your attention tied to external validation. Marcus Aurelius, Stoic emperor and philosopher, once wrote, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of not value. None of them know anything about the subject. But we chase those opinions anyway. So if they define us, and it doesn't stop there." Marketing is another psychological game. Entire industries exist to sell you okay problem first, then offer you the solution. You're too old, too young, too quiet, too loud, too broke, too behind. The message is always the same. You're not enough lest you buy this. And the more insecure you are, the more likely you'll buy. That's why your emotional reactivity isn't just a fluid to profit.